Hello, agents. Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights aims to give you the latest news and updates about the Niantic spatial game Ingress. Whether you're a veteran agent who has recursed 17 times or a brand new agent working to level 8, wondering what a fracker is, this is your place for the latest Ingress news and discussions. 2026 sees Ingress renewed under Niantic spatial and many new campaigns to engage agents. So, plenty to discuss. Share any thoughts by checking our social media links. Now, over to Ada.
Additional intel available.
Hello agents, and welcome to the third episode of the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by myself, PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast all about the Niantic game Ingress, where we talk about the latest news, rumours, and anything else to do with this game where we make triangles. If you'd like to connect with the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram or Threads under the name Ingress Insights, or you can contact us via email over at ingressinsights@gmail.com. In this episode, we're going to be covering quite a lot of news about the Year 11 events, updates to audio AR devices, as well as updates regarding skinning. One quick thing to note, first of all, is that there was a small glitch in the first episode where I talked about November's events. Didn't add in that audio. It's now been added in if you want to go back and re-listen to me talking about November's events. However, I am now going to move on to an update about the Ingress Year 11 event. So, Niantic have shared the Ingress Year 11 badge, which is called Paragon, and features and the usual avatar that you have when you start the game, with a pair of wings attached to it. Pokemon fans say it looks a bit like the Pokemon Ho-Oh. I think it looks nice, maybe not as nice as previous year badges, but they have clarified what's going to be happening during Year 11. So it says, Agents, Ingress is turning 11. Thank you for advancing the story of XM with us from MZFPK, Co, CTRL, all the way through Discovery. It's been great meeting you out there. And in celebration of Ingress Year 11, the following bonus will be in effect between 10th of November 2023, 5 p.m. UTC, and 20th of November 2023, 5 p.m. UTC. So yeah, double AP for all actions. Double hack output of building gear, so resonators, power cubes from friendly portals. Double hack output of attack gear, so XMPs and Ultra Strikes from enemy portals. The drone cooldown is also reduced to 11 minutes instead of an hour. And kinetic capsule program distance is reduced from 8 kilometers to 1 kilometer. And you can run 11 kinetic capsule programs in parallel. Overclock hacking duration is extended to 110 seconds. And each agent will be able to deploy 2 level 8 resonators instead of the usual 1. There is an important note that during that period, the regularly scheduled double AP Tuesday bonus hour, although it's 4 hours, will not be activated because double AP will be granted throughout, so you won't gain 4 times AP on the Tuesday in that period. The Paragon Year 11 medal will be awarded to all agents who've earned more than 0 AP from the Year 10 anniversary, which was the 15th of November 2022, through the end of the Year 11 anniversary celebrations, 20th of November 2023. So if you haven't logged in for a while, maybe you're a semi-retired agent that only comes out for anomalies, maybe log in at the portal to make sure you get your Year 11 medal. Medal distribution will take place sometime after the bonus period ends on Monday, 20th of November, And it follows the same medal tiers as we had for a while now. So if you're level 3, you'll get a bronze medal, level 9, silver medal, level 13 will get a gold medal, level 15 will get a platinum medal, and level 16 will get an onyx medal. If you're a recurse agent, you also get an onyx medal. And then in the store, they've prepared the following kit. So there's a buy one, get one free portal fracker, which costs 4,800 CMU, and a buy one, get one free Apex deal, which costs 2,500 CMU. And rare kinetic capsules will also be 50% off, so they'll only cost 1,000 CMU. And additionally, there's always a badge to buy, so you can buy the NL1331X series digital kit, which costs 19,000 CMU, and you can only purchase it once. It does say that the digital kit will be available to all agents, even if you've got the medal. So double check whether you've got it before you buy it. It's the NL1331X series medal, which is a purple colour. And also included in that are 40 power cubes of your level, 40 XMP bursts of your level, 40 resonators of your level, 2 Aegis shields, 30 rare multi-hack, 30 rare portal shield, 30 rare heatsink, 10 rare link amp, 2 rare kinetic capsules, 2 Jarvis fires, and 2 Adu refractors. They note that they look forward to seeing your Ingress Year 11 celebration on social media and provide the hashtag Ingress Year 11, all as one word, for doing that. And following that, we'll then look into coming up in December. December kicks off with our usual first Saturday event, which is on the 2nd of December. Just as a reminder, this will be the last time you can do a virtual first Saturday event to earn tick on the badge, as it will be going in person only for earning the badge credits for the January events. So if you're looking to get one last tick on there at a virtual event, that's your last time to do it. And that's on the 2nd of December. And then on the 10th of December, it's Ingress Second Sunday. So for now, this is still doing any 6 unique Ingress missions between midnight and 11:59 PM local time. They can be missions you've done previously, as long as they are unique missions. You can't do the same mission 6 times. And then there's the finale of the Discovery Anomaly on the 16th of December. The primary site for that being Honolulu in the US. Satellite sites being Colombo in Sri Lanka and Izmir in Turkey. Do let me know if I've said any of those incorrect. And they are now also talking about the XM anomalies for 2024. So NIA researchers detected XM signals indicating anomalies on the following dates. So the 17th of February 2024, we'll see an anomaly in Adelaide and one in Santiago. There's then going to be one on the 16th of March 2024 in Macau and Porto. And we don't have cities for these ones yet, but we do have dates. So the other ones will be the 18th of May 2024 and the 15th of June 2024. A reminder that Ingress Tuesday is a event every Tuesday that features double AP between 4 PM and 9 PM local time. That's double AP on all actions that you do. As said before, that's not happening during the Year 11 event in November because you'll already be getting the double AP throughout that whole event. So they're not doubling it up again to 4. It will just stay as the 2 times 1 for that. And mentioning here again about Ingress Second Sundays. So they were introduced to encourage exploration and adventure, and Niantic want to expand the idea by adding more variations to the ways the medal can be earned. And there could be an alternative set of challenges, which is suspected to be to do with agent ops in future. That's been mentioned a few times by Niantic, but hasn't yet happened. And we are also waiting for mission days for Q1 2024 to get a separate announcement. So keep an eye out for that as well. And then I'm just now going to move on to a small announcement they had about audio AR updates. You may be one of the Ingress agents who plays Ingress entirely with no sound on at all. So you may not be aware that they do audio AR and head tracking with certain Sony devices, mainly the Sony Link Buds. This allows the sound to be more immersive. So when you turn your head towards the portal, it'll make various noise and you'll detect them more. It was previously only available on Sony Link Buds, but on the 29th of October, Niantic put a post on their Ingress news site to say that we are happy to share that Ingress Audio AR and head tracking support is now available on a wider range of Sony headphones. So they're now available on Link Buds S, WH1000XM5, and WF1000XM5. Spatial audio creates a more immersive and engaging sound experience for all agents, with location-based portal audio for enlightened, resistance, and neutral portals. Agents with supported devices can enable head tracking to control their agent's avatar direction or orientation simply by turning their heads. So I don't own any of these, and unfortunately the XM ones aren't anything to do with Ingress. I was expecting the Ingress branded set of Sony headbuds at some point, but that hasn't happened yet. If you do use audio AR, I'd be interested to know whether this change is good for you and how beneficial you think it is for having with Ingress. But following that, I'm going to move on to something else some agents may not do either, and updates to scanning portals. A few days ago, Niantic updated their Help Fifth article, which is their help pages, regarding updates to scanning. For several weeks now, many agents on Android devices were struggling to scan portals. They didn't have a button available that even allowed them the option. And this may be due to some updates and backends from there for scanning. So I'm going to run through the updates regarding iOS first of all, because it's shorter. So to be able to scan a portal on an iOS device that has Ingress installed on it, it's officially supported on iPhone 8 and newer devices running iOS 14 plus. So that's pretty straightforward if you are playing Ingress on an iOS device. For Android, it gets a bit more complex. So portal scanning is officially supported on devices running Android 9 plus, and support Google Play services for AR, and have the following mobile GPUs. So Adreno 630 Snapdragon 845, Adreno 640 Snapdragon 855, 855 plus 860, Adreno 650 Snapdragon 870, Adreno 660 Snapdragon 888, Adreno 730 Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, Adreno 740, Samsung Eclipse 920 Exynos 2200, MALI G72 Exynos 9810, Kirin 970, MALI G76 Exynos 9820, Kirin 980, MALI G77 Exynos 990 Kirin 985, MALI G78 Exynos 1080 Kirin 9000, MALI G710 Pixel 7 series. So unfortunately, I don't know a lot about Android devices in regards to scanning and what their setup is, but there is a HelpShift article that has the update there for supported devices. So I'll link in the show notes, so do have a read and let me know if you've suddenly been bumped off running portals and it's something you enjoyed doing, or if you've never ever scanned a portal and you don't want to miss out controller badges or anything to do with portal scanning. I want to know that as well. So with that, I'm now going to move on to our next section. Just to slip in a small thank you here to the Ingress Updates ENG channel on Telegram. They've shared that this podcast is now a thing, and they've written that Agent and Wayfarer Ambassador PkmnTrainerJ has started the Ingress Insights podcast. On it, they'll recap and discuss recent news and happenings in the Ingress universe in about 20 minutes. 2 episodes already released, and they've shared them in that channel. If you are listening from there, I'd be happy to hear and see what you think of the show. We previously shared that there was an update coming to First Saturday events from 2024. And at that time, there was an update only from the Fev Games website. There's now been an update published by Niantic on the Ingress news site on the 30th of October. So it's very similar, but I'm just going to run through that. So, as you may have heard, beginning January 6, 2024, First Saturday medal will be awarded to in-person participants only. Agents can still join virtual events to stay connected with others remotely. The First Saturday medal grant will require in-person participation. COVID-19 is still an active presence in our communities, and we continue to remind agents to follow guidelines from local health authorities when playing. In-person meetups are an important aspect to Ingress, and we wish to encourage more local playing. The original intent behind First Saturday was a community-organised initiative to bring agents together across faction lines and to help new recruits get to know their local communities. There are ways to do this virtually or remotely also, but we believe it's now time to return to in-person First Saturday events. First Saturday events can help to nudge more agents to gather outdoors in public meeting places, building connections with places and people. Walking outdoors has many benefits, not limited to just game rewards. Ingress is better with friends, and we believe this move will have a positive impact on agents, their communities, and on Ingress. Thank you to Fev Games and IFS UN for making First Saturday possible. It's only through their efforts to organise and facilitate this global community initiative that First Saturday is able to continue. And they then do detail a link where you can find your nearest First Saturday location, which we'll include in the show notes. And then, speaking of new agents, there was an update to the app that we'll cover as well. On our first episode, we covered the Ingress 2.128.1 release notes, and in there it mentioned there would be an updated tutorial going live after all agents updated to the latest Ingress release. There was a bit of a bump where agents didn't access the app for a short period of time due to this being pushed. It's now been so new recruits do learn how to play Ingress by doing the tutorial. Any agents that have done it before can reset the tutorial and go through it again if they want. This new tutorial seems to be using a feature we have seen once before called Agent Ops, which is a task-based system that's similar to the games that have it, things like Groups of God Alive and Pokemon Master. So a few games that I play that have a task-based daily system in them, where you can go through and complete tasks to get rewards. And that means I'm now a bit hopeful that that will be used going forwards in Ingress. We'll talk about Agent Ops and what it is in a future episode. But for now, we'll continue with the show. On to a fan event now, which is the Ingress Worldwide competition that's run for a few years now. It's not an official Niantic event, but it is run in conjunction with them, where Niantic will supply some codes and share details of the event. So from the 1st to the 30th of November, and during the 11th anniversary of Ingress, it's a friendly competition amongst agents to find out who's going to do the best in 1 of 20 statistics. It's run this year by Hutus42, and you can join the discussion group via the link that we'll add in the show notes on there. And you can then discuss strategies and learn how to do that via the agent stats to share your updates on your stats for the month. It runs from November 1st, 12 a.m. local time, so it's already running, until November 30th, 11:59 p.m. local time. The stats that are being measured are AP, Explorer, Recon, Scout, Scout Controller, Builder, Connector, Mind Controller, Illuminator, Recharger, Liberator, Pioneer, Engineer, Hacker, Maverick, Translator, Purifier, Cracker, Spec Ops, and Recursions. So that's quite a wide range of stats that are being measured on there. As said, it's just for fun, but you do need to obviously follow the Niantic terms of service. And if you don't, you'll be booted from the discussion group and the group for the stats on there. As said, it's fairly easy to use it on there. It just means uploading some stats via another app that you can pull from Ingress. And it's a fun competition to join in. I do it every year. I'm never that highly ranked in it. I think I'm something like 300th or 400th at the moment in most of the stats. But it's nice to see it, nice to have a bit more discussion with agents on there. So, as said, the link to join that will be in the show notes. We just want to reiterate that there will be some codes from Niantic shared within that chat. They are just for those participating in that chat. So don't share any codes from that group outside of the chat. That will be against their fair play policy for this challenge. That being said, I'm now going to move on to an update regarding things you can buy from Niantic. As you can imagine, if you want to fork over some of your hard-earned cash to Niantic, you can now do that. So one of the ways that you can do that is by visiting nianticsupply.com, where they have a variety of Ingress-related items and apparel to buy there. Previously, they did a subscription model for the Ingress Origins kit, and with that, each kit came with a fancy envelope, 2 exclusive bio cards, a common character card, a very rare loadout card, a battle beacon card, a pin, a patch, and a collectible sticker sheet. And there was also the possibility to get a silver, gold, or onyx variant of the character card. They were exactly the same, just limited edition ones that had a number printed on for each one. As mentioned, this was via a subscription model originally. These have now been released to the Niantic Supply store to buy individually if you wish. So you can purchase those from the store directly if there's a certain one you want to get. For example, Ingress Origins Kit 2 is all about Oolong Trans Global and Victor Carees. And there are 8 kits in total that you can purchase on there. And just looking on the store in general, there's still various t-shirts from the 10-year anniversary of Ingress Prime, 10-year anniversary of Ingress, the Prime shirt, the Post pin, and also still the Ingress Series X kit, which was the previous subscription model on there that you can purchase. So plenty of ways to get some nice character badges if you do want to do that. I'll put the link to the Ingress collections in the show notes, and then you can have a look, decide for yourselves if that's something you want to do, and be interested to know if you did subscribe. Subscribers got an additional benefit of a box for storing in bio cards or character cards. I haven't yet received mine, but I know the final design seems to have changed a bit and it may not be as good as it looked, but I'll share my thoughts when I receive mine. And then I'm now going to move on to talk about a feature, which, as the title of the podcast suggests, is Tuesday or 2S Day. We now get to the section I've mentioned where I'll be discussing an Ingress feature every time to try and make things a bit more easy and digestible for any new agents or agents coming back to the game to understand what's going on. So, because I've mentioned it quite a bit, I'm going to Tuesday, which Niantic spell is 2S Day. So this was launched on the 27th of June 2023, and similar to another game that has an hour with bonuses and special things in, that Niantic also do, Ingress 2S Day runs ran from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time originally. And from the 5th of September 2023 to now, it runs from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. local time every Tuesday. So during that time, you earn double AP for all actions taken. So it can also be boosted with an Apex item, so that you'll gain 4 times AP per whatever action you take. So King of Portal will be double AP normally, but then if you do it with an Apex as well, then it'll be 4 times what it would be normally. This is always great for leveling up fast. People often recommend, if you're going to do a recursion, to time it just to start at level 1 at the start of this time, so you can quickly earn some AP and burn through those levels and get the level 6 quickly. I try and do something at least every Tuesday. Go out on a walk and hack a few portals, make a few links, and blow up any blue stuff that I see. And I think it's good that it's now expanded beyond the hour, so running from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. As if there are some Ingress agents busy with other games or they're finishing work, still at work, we can then at least participate and earn things from there. There's no medal associated with Tuesday. I don't expect there would ever be, personally. It's something that some people in the forums raise from time to time. I'd like to know if you play Tuesday, whether you go out and make huge fields or whether you just pull and call it done for the day for participating in that. I'm going to move on now to wrap things up. Thank you all for listening to the 3rd episode of Ingress Insights. I've been your host, PkmnTrainerJ. And as I wrap up, I just want to note that on Spotify, if you listen to the episode there, you will see a poll on each episode, only as a fun little extra. So I'm just looking at the previous poll on episode 1 to see whether agents answered whether they would get or did get the Dark XM clue badge. There's a couple of days left on it, but at the minute it's 25% yes and 75% no. So maybe that says how people feel about that badge. You can chat with us via Instagram and Threads, as mentioned, is under ingress.insights, or you can email us on ingressinsights@gmail.com, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find at patreon.com/ingressinsights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates really helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game-related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.